one day, my cousin made a Tinder, and we were having a family barbecue, so he came over. He was like, oh my god, Sam, like this really hot girl just like matched with me, and then he shows me. And then I see the profile, and it's literally pictures of Madison beer. But the name on the profile was like Kalani. I was like, bro, I don't know who you think you're fucking texting, but it's not Madison beer. You're texting someone's fucking auntie right now. Whole ass auntie. He's like, guess we're about to find out. I was like, no, what the no? He's like, yeah, I just gave her the Addy. She's about to pull up. Like, we're gonna meet. Like, it's all cool, Sam. Like, trust me. Trust me. Trust me, he said. Okay. I trusted him. So I see a car pull up, and he's like, oh my god, I think it's her. I was like, oh shit, what if I do meet Madison beer? The door freaking opens, and this old lady pops up. I look at my cousin, and I'm like, go hug her. Go. You were so excited. It's Kalani, the one and only. Come on.
So here's a story time about how I almost died. It was a weekend during my freshman year of high school. My mom was away on a trip and I was home on the weekend with my grandma. I started to feel really sick, but I wasn't one to really make a big deal about anything, so I assumed it was just like food poisoning or something small. About 30 minutes go by and I start throwing up. Normally after I throw up, I feel better, but when I came out of the bathroom, my grandma was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I still feel really sick. But I decided to drink some hot tea thinking maybe that would help. Next thing I know, I am throwing that up as well. About an hour or two goes by and I'm still throwing up constantly. By this time, my grandma's starting to get worried. She asked me if I want to go to the emergency room and I tell her no because I had never gone there before for anything. I'd never been sick before. Like, I'd been sick, but not this bad. Luckily, my grandma works at a hospital, so she decided to call the on-call nurse. The nurse tells her to take me to the emergency room ASAP. By this time, it's hard for me to stand. I'm buckled over like, ugh. She gets me in the car and she takes me to the emergency room. I sit in the waiting room for a really, really long time. When I finally get checked in, they diagnosed me with ovarian cysts, and my male doctor telling me it's just my period. But that wasn't what was wrong. It was something much worse.
I faked having a period. Story time. When I was younger, I used to hate gym class. Like, I hated it. So I was willing to do anything, and I mean anything, to get out of it. So around this time, girls were getting excused from gym class because they were on their periods. And me not knowing exactly what it was, I was like, that's not fair. How come I'm not getting mine? I want to be excused from gym class too. And all I had to go by was that your stomach hurts and you get red spots on the back of your pants or jeans or shorts or sweats or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's what I need to do. So the next time I had gym class, I put red marker all over the crotch of my pants. I held my stomach and I was like, oh. So my gym teacher comes up to me and he's like, are you okay? What's going on? And I go, I think I'm on my period. And my teacher's like, what? So I turn around and I show him the red spots on my butt. And he was like, I'm gonna send you to the nurse's office. So I go to the nurse's office. They can't check me, obviously, so they send me home. And I got in trouble, but I got out of gym class.
Crazy ass story time. 23 years ago, there was this mother of 2 children who just recently had a 3rd child. Soon after, the newborn baby was sleeping in the nursery while they were throwing a house party, and unfortunately, during the party, the house caught on fire. Everyone scrambles out of the house and they couldn't get to the baby, and then the cops concluded that the baby had died in the fire. But her other 2 kids made it out alive. And even though the cops told her that her baby had died, she refused to believe it. Many years later, the mother took her 2 children to a birthday party, and there was this other woman there with her child. And now the mother looks at that child and is in shock because she looks so much like her other 2 kids. So she goes up to the little girl and says that she has bubble gum in her hair so that she can steal a few strands of her hair. She took it to a lab and they DNA tested it, and that little girl was her child. So it turns out many years ago during that house party, a woman that the mother knew went upstairs, took the baby, and started the fire so that the baby would be declared as dead and she could easily get away with kidnapping her. And then she ran from the cops and they can't find her.
So we all know every school has a bully. At my school, our bully was Brayton Smith. Everyone was scared of him because he was known to enjoy beating people up. Sometimes it seemed like even adults were scared of him too. I was terrified of Brayton, so I just got smart and became his friend. It wasn't always easy being Brayton's friend though. He'd punch me for no reason, I had to laugh at all of his jokes or he'd give me the look, and he always ate my lunches. But it was worth it. At least I didn't have to worry about him beating me up like other kids did. But one day, Brayton and our classmate Zai started teasing each other. Zai's jokes were so funny, and I chuckled at one of them. I looked at Brayton and Brayton was giving me the look. He told me to come here and I did because he's my friend. Then he put a pencil on his shoulder and said, knock the pencil off. I thought it was a joke, so I knocked the pencil off. You know what that means? I'm gonna beat you up after school. My eyes lit up. Notice he didn't say we're gonna fight. He said he's gonna beat me up. Oh, he's confident. When the last bell rung, I was the first person out the school. I hopped on my bike and pedaled like I stole something.
Story time! Our freshman year of high school, we decided that it would be super funny if we switched classes for the whole day. Since we were new to the school, no one could tell us apart, especially our teachers. We planned out our day, we wore the same outfits and the same hair, and we gave each other our schedules.
We went over everything we did in class. We kind of had different personalities, so she was more of the troublemaker and I was just kind of quiet in class.
We ended up giving each other our backpacks, homework, and we switched IDs.
So I walked into my first class and some of the kids started to notice that I wasn't Mackenzie except for the teacher, so I was good.
My first block went really good too. No one really noticed at all, actually.
So from second block to fourth block, none of the teachers noticed that we switched classes.
By lunchtime, pretty much all the students knew and everyone was talking about it. So after lunch, we were going into our 5th period class and Malia didn't tell me, but she had a presentation due. I obviously wasn't prepared and that's when my teacher noticed.
I was just chilling in my class and then my teacher got a phone call.
Like for part 2!
Crazy Ways People Have Died, Part 1. In 2010, a man named Sam Ballard was dared by his drunk friends to eat a slug. And so he did. Little did he know the slug gave him a parasite, which made him paralyzed and sick. He stayed this way for 8 years till 2018, when he was 28. The sickness became too much for him, and he died. Stop just putting stuff in your mouths! Stop!
Okay, so my dad's girlfriend tried to sleep with me. So my dad's been dating this girl for a few weeks, right? And regardless of the virus situation, she comes over to the house a lot. Like, if she's not here, it's just like a day interval between each other. She's here at least every other day. And sometimes she stays for days or weeks straight. Leading up to this incident, she has been getting around me a lot more. Like, I'll be sitting in my room and she'll just come in there while I'm all alone, etc. She's even walked into my room naked. Here's the juicy part. A few weeks ago, I was home alone. My dad happened to be at work and was in the house. She was fully aware of this when she came over anyway. And just by coincidence, when she came over, I was in the shower. She opens the bathroom door and proceeds to walk in, and this creeps me the fuck out because I don't know who's in my house. So I peeked to see that it was her. And when I see her, she was completely naked. And she asked me if she could shower with me. I'm like, boy, what? This is odd. I didn't want to scare her away, so I was like, yeah, sure. So she gets in the shower, and this is when things get crazy. She starts to touch my body. Like for a part 2, it'll be up early on my Insta story.
So it all started when I moved into his neighborhood in 6th grade and we met at the park in between our houses. We were in the same friend group in middle school and I thought he was really cute, but he was dating one of my best friends. Fast forward to sophomore year of high school and he asked me to homecoming. A few months later, he came to one of my dance performances and asked me to be his girlfriend after the show. We dated all throughout high school. We were voted cutest couple, went on lots of cheesy dates, and won prom king and queen our senior year. I ended up going to college in California and he went in Washington, so we decided to break up. After over a year and a half apart, we got back together in the middle of our sophomore year. We were inseparable during our summers at home and would visit each other at school too. After college, we both moved back home to the Seattle area and we've been together ever since. Met when we were 12, started dating when we were 15, and now we're 25. I can't wait to see what's next.
So, I always tend to try to be a nice person. So when my sister called me up crying, saying that she didn't have a place to go, I said, okay, sure, I'll ask my dad. You can come spend the time with us. She said, cool, thanks. So my parents are divorced, so she's my stepsister. My dad has absolutely no relation to her in the slightest. But him being a nice person also said, don't worry about it. You can come spend, the night with us. So she can find a place to live. That one night ended up turning into 3 months. So we ended up giving her a very good amount of warning. We ended up telling her when we realized this was going to be a more long-term thing, we ended up saying, hey, you can stay with us, but once it comes to September 1st, you gotta go. She didn't get that memo. So, T in part 2.
How I married my high school girlfriend. The summer after high school, we dated for 9 months, and then I broke up with her. I didn't see her for 2.5 years, but during that time, I would imagine moving to New York City, going to a coffee shop, turning around, and there she would be. And when they made the movie about my life, I'd be like, there she was. Somehow, we always found a way back to each other. But that never happened. Then, over Christmas break, I saw her at a party and I didn't say a word to her. It shook me up so much that I went home, read all of the letters she ever wrote me, cried a lot, and texted her. We started talking again for a few months, and right when I was thinking, wow, this might be the girl that I marry, she ended it.
My daughter Savannah is the CEO of faking illness to get out of school. So when she does not feel like being there, she will go to the nurse's office and complain to them that she is really not feeling good so that they call me and I have to go get her. Well, one day after this happens, I walk into the administrative office and everybody is really concerned because Savannah is sitting in a chair like so dramatically like, hi, Mom. And like when I saw her, I burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And everybody looked at me like I was some really bad mom. Like, oh my God, why aren't you more concerned? But as we were walking out, she was walking really slow and actually didn't look good. So even I was a little concerned. I was like, oh my God, honey, are you okay? Until we got to the car when Savannah looks at me and goes, you know what, Mom? I feel better now. And I was like, Savannah, are you serious? And she's like, Mom, do you maybe want to go to Starbucks and have like a girls' day? And I was like, honey, what kind of question is that? You know I do.
Hey guys, and here's a story time on why you should never get your ears pierced at Claire's. So last night after I realized the front of my earring wasn't in my ear, I decided that I needed to probably go to the hospital because it was looking like it was very infected. So when I got to the hospital, it really felt like my earring wasn't even in my ear, like it might have snapped off or something when I was sleeping, and like that's why I couldn't pull it out the bag. Before I knew it, the doctor came back, literally didn't say anything, and just tugged on my ear for 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden the stud came out, and that was it. So yeah, don't use piercing guns. Pip pip cheerio!
I was just going to the bathroom, and I know I wasn't pooping because girls don't poop. I was pooping. Shh, don't tell the boys, okay? But anyways, I'm like almost finished up in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I feel something touch my butt cheeks. Like, you know that fear that everybody has, like when you're going to the bathroom, that something's just gonna pop out of the toilet and be like, on your booty hole? Well, I was going to the bathroom, and a literal bee, not the good kind that we want to say, like the mean stinging kind, like came out of the toilet and started crawling all over my butt while I was mid-dump. It was something like this. This is me on the toilet. And the bee starts flying all over the place. And I knock over every single shampoo bottle in the shower. Sounds like an earthquake. My pants are around my ankles. This bee is just like, bzz, 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 let me get your butt cheeks. Bzz, bzz, bzz. I smack the bee. The bee is on the ground. And I take the toilet plunger and put it over the bee. And it is currently trapped underneath there right now. And I'm never going to move that toilet plunger ever again.
If you ever find yourself in this situation, don't do what she did. In 2006, a group of cave divers decided they wanted to film a documentary in one of the most dangerous caves in the world. But only a few hours into their descent, and a freak storm erupts on land, collapsing the entrance to the cave. In order to avoid the huge falling rocks that were coming off the ceiling, they were forced to swim through one of the uncharted sections of the cave. After they've been diving for over an hour, they luckily come across this island in the middle of a tunnel, where they set up camp and wait to be rescued. After 48 hours and no sign of a rescue, the cameraman actually starts filming in case they don't make it out of there. At the same time, one of their crew members does something very stupid.
So I was at Target buying AirPods, as one does when one has money. And it was this little white girl. She was so adorable. She came up to me, and I'm just like, COVID-19, stay away. But I didn't say that. I was just like, and she said, let me tell you, this is what she said. You're such a pretty colored person. And I'm like, I'm like, where is your, well, first of all, I wandered off to toy aisle. So I guess the parent left that kid over there in the toy aisle. But I'm like, she just calling me a colored person. And I got down and I was like, you're such a pretty non-colored person. And then she was just like, I know. And then she walked off and I said, I was just like, okay, sis, confidence. But dang, you just, all right.
I walk around like that. I came with the 38, I'm leaving with a body. If he try me throwing sloppy, shooting out the big body. I walk around like that, nigga. Finger on the trigger, if a nigga wants some smoke, I let it drop.
Not that though. It's going after my earring. Fuck.
Oh my god, no way.
Hey everyone, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna share with you a little story. Shaquille O'Neal DM'd me, it was amazing. He said, hey cutie, I wrote back, what up Big Papa? Honestly, power move, because that was the first thing I thought of. He wrote back, how you? I wrote back, I'm good, how you? Then I sent him this photo of me and my friend because, well, I look like Shaq and she looks like his cute little ex-girlfriend. Me and Shaq have the same titties. He wrote back. I saw that, which honestly surprised me. And then I made him a customized video, which he watched and apparently hated. Watch it in my next TikTok.